Okay. So, as you just witnessed, this guy did not turn correctly as they intruded on my lane, instead of turning into the outer turn lane, because that was a dual left turn. So stupidity like that is what we do with us drivers in Arizona. But I actually hit record for the purpose of just taking you down Main Street. We just turned from Dobson in Maine. This is Sycamore in Maine. That Filiberto's over there was originally a Rally's. But this is Main Street in Mesa at night, which it's about 11 p.m. Light rail now runs through the middle of Main Street. But yeah, Main Street here in Mesa, as well as Apache Boulevard and Mill Avenue, Van Buren and Tempe and Phoenix, and then Apache Trail out east in Apache Junction. This all used to be US60. And then once the Superstition Freeway, just I think 2.5 miles, or 2 miles, yeah, I think it's like 2 miles to the south of here was completed in 1990, they decided to, you know, that was redesignated as US60. So places like the Highway Host Motel are from that era of when Main Street was US60. And so if you drive down Main Street in Mesa, you will see old motels. You know, you'll see some mid-century modern, you'll see some old car dealerships and old gas stations and service stations. And that, you know, those are remnants from that era when this was the highway. Interesting thing about this McDonald's is it used to be over by that next traffic light up ahead. And it was relocated here. I think it was still the 80s. Or it could have been the 90s. But it was over here. It was demolished, but it was over here. So I remember going to that McDonald's when I was a kid. See, and then there's another old motel. See, Mesa has neon. All these old motels still have their old neon signs, and they don't, you know, they don't make new neon signs anymore, but you know, that's something that's considered, you know, something you should do if you're ever in Mesa is take a drive down Main Street at night and take a look at some of these neon signs that you see along the way. As motels such as the Highway Host and the, see, here's another one, the Starlight. You know, those are all old motels with vintage neon signs. Now, this is Country Club up ahead, which is also Arizona 87. If you take it south, you'll reach Coolidge. If you take it north, you'll reach Payson and the mountains, where you do have pine forests. But where we're entering now is downtown Mesa. When I was a kid, there were actually 3 lanes of traffic in each direction going through here. Then in the late 90s, it was narrowed down to 2 lanes in each direction. And then more recently, with the extension of the light rail, it got narrowed down to a single lane in each direction. But the 90s project was to create wider sidewalks to make it more pedestrian friendly and inviting. These buildings are really old. I'm not sure exactly how old some of these buildings get, but you're probably, 100 years easy. I mean, just to the south of here, behind Bank of America, is the old Alhambra Motel, which is undergoing renovations to become new student housing for the Benedictine University. And that hotel is 122 years old. So these downtown Mesa buildings are pretty old and even house businesses that have been there for generations, such as Milano Music. And then here you've got the modern Mesa Art Center with its four venues for concerts and productions, such as plays. This kind of dark area here is the old Brown and Brown Chevrolet. They moved a number of years ago, but their old dealership still sits here with its old vintage lights. And then this building here, which is the Benedictine University, with its mid-century modern right there, that was the county hospital, I believe, in years past, and I believe this is actually where my mom was born. And then there's a piece of my childhood just behind the corner here, Pete's Fish and Chips. So crossing Mesa Drive, we reach the current terminus of the light rail here in Mesa. And then here on the right is the temple, which our temple here in Mesa was dedicated in 1927. And I've seen old photos of the temple and how it was the only thing that was really even out here. Maybe tough to see it because it's nighttime right now, but they're setting up the Christmas lights. It's also late, so not all of the lighting is really on. Like, this Dairy Queen isn't really lit right now. That 1940s era Dairy Queen. I think 1948 may have been when it was built. And then these apartments sit where the old El Rancho Motel used to sit, with its nice kind of Jetsons-like sign with the arrow pointed down, like maybe it's for a spaceship landing. Here's another vintage neon sign for the Ham Bone. Which my sister used to go to bars, a long time ago. That was one place she'd go to, because I think I may have dropped her off at the Ham Bone once. And over here is Stapley. That pawn shop used to be Kinko's. This plaza's been around for so long. I remember Sally Fabrics being in there, the VFW outlet. You can't see it because it's dark, but that used to be Swenson's, the place we'd go for ice cream all the time. And here's a nice mid-century Bank of America. And Denny's Diners on the corner on the left. It's kind of tough to see, and I'm sorry my windshield isn't the cleanest on the inside. You won't be able to see anything because it's dark probably, but behind the Denny's Diner is the old Mervin's, a store I went to on many a boring Saturday, when you're a kid anyway. The Fro Motel is the Frontier Motel, so don't get confused. There's the old Pizza Mart. This Food City was originally Bash's. Food City is part of Bash's, and there's their mid-century modern store with its, placeholder for a sign. Yeah, it's a little dark, but that's the old First Interstate Bank. This Filiberto's used to be Jack in the Box, which was all outdoor. There's the old King's Table buffet, where this Mexican restaurant is now. You probably can't see it, but that was Baker Brothers. You know, I'm born and raised here in Mesa, so, you know, there's plenty of things that I do remember from growing up. Howard Johnson used to be Bus Western Mesa Inn, abandoned Village Inn. This AutoZone's open 24 hours, so that's convenient. And then there's the batting cages up ahead, which previously was Robo Pitch Stadium. When I was a kid, it was actually Danny's dugout and had a very 60s looking guy, you know, Danny with his bat. So now we are reaching Gilbert Road. This used car place used to be a Texaco station. This McDonald's wasn't put up on this corner until the 90s, but McDonald's used to sit further back and a little bit away from the intersection. The old McDonald's that this one replaced was the McDonald's my dad worked at in the 70s. So hopefully I'll catch it up here on the left, but of course the what I think would be the biggest highlight here driving down Main Street is going to be the Starlight and its Diving Lady sign. You know, a sign I remember very much from childhood growing up here in Mesa. And I think I see it already. I don't know, hopefully you can see it. But it's a vertical sign with the motel letters stacked in pink, and you've got the lady dive from the top of the sign with a little splash of water at the bottom of the sign. And, well, the motel has filled in its pool, so it's not exactly an accurate sign anymore. Yep, there it is. Just the Starlight, I guess. I recently took an Instagram picture and video because I was stopping at, I had to come pick up some KFC on that corner. It's dark, but that used to be Kmart. They closed December of last year. Which I guess I need to move to the right because I'll be hitting where I need to make my turn soon. But hopefully, just driving down Main Street here at night here in Mesa, you found something interesting maybe that you liked. Right now it is October the 14th. We're finally getting nicer weather. It's 72 degrees now, so a lot of your grandparents are probably going to be spending the winter here because we've got such mild, comfortable winters. So come out and visit.